topic would actually not just regressively challenge the lot, but would have by the book be a larger floor area to match the neighborhood. We both have concerns there, and would be certainly a more discussion than we can fit into the next 3 minutes. But I just want to be clear that from what we're planning or what we think would be reasonable, many of the things we talked about tonight are. I just don't want to get to a point where our only option is to build a 5,000 square foot home here when um, or deal with this kind of new regressive floor area concept.
Well, the math is pretty simple. If it was 0.23, and it's a 10,000 square foot lot, it's 2,300 square foot house, which is.
I'm not worried about not being able to do the math. I'm worried about how the project would work, and that we are forced to choose between something that the ordinance doesn't contemplate, or what the as of right solutions are. And I don't want to presuppose what the applicant will do, but I think more time on discussing that is probably warranted than this 5 minutes. And if it's our instruction is to come back with 2,300 square foot homes, I don't know that we'll be back. I just want to be upfront about that.
Okay, thank you for your candor. Mr. Cohen?
Yeah, I just wanted to put in a request for one additional exhibit, which is an expanded version of the lot size comparisons. If you could stretch it over to Jefferson and the other
Sure.
side of Tyler, I would appreciate that.
I think we did that for last week, and we'll show, including the ones that there was testimony about the place across the street. There is a deed restriction that does not affect our side of the street that is at play there, and we'll point that out and explain it.
Okay.
Okay, so oh, excuse me, Mia?
Yeah, I just want to request that at the beginning of the next meeting that Justin, I think it will be helpful for you to show the neighbors what the actual options are on this site, so they know here's what is available as of right. If someone were to build one house, a large house, and let's just assume they would go to the maximum, here's what is available in terms of, just be a little bit more, it's hard with the applicant's diagrams, I think, and all of the other stuff that are on those application diagrams for the neighbors to understand what the actual options are. Or maybe we could even make that available on the website before the next meeting, just so the neighbors can see what the options are.
Certainly, I could do so.
In terms of on one lot versus the subdivision, and maybe one lot and one ADU. I think it doesn't seem logistically feasible to do, but I think it's clear that the multiple ADU proposition is not something that's viable on this site. So the neighbor should just know it's just not feasible. So if you could maybe make available to the public on the website what the actual options are, and that, I think that would be helpful in terms of our interaction with the neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just wonder, last week the applicant brought that information. Is that possible, Ryan, for you guys to put together rather than putting it up?
It probably is, and we'll take a look at it. Honestly, the approach for every one of these, we try not to be like, look, here's the bad thing we don't want to do, so please approve us. And so it is, it's very tempting. And when we script these out, sometimes we do it because it's helpful. Sometimes it just seems, because it's what we don't want to do, and
I think that
understood
the source,
yeah.
I would rather it come from us, from our staff, so that our residents understand that the source is us and not the applicant.
Not the applicant being scary. Yeah. Good. So Justin will prepare that, and the applicant will come back with a plan that shows the house on the corner fronting on Jefferson, an expanded version of the lot size comparison, a stormwater management scenario that sort of goes above and beyond. Anything else? that folks were interested in seeing in the next time we convene on this application? Okay, so I do think the idea of having a sidewalk along Kyler is a good idea. People brought up the pedestrian activity in that at that intersection, and I think a sidewalk, even just in front of those two homes, would be a good thing. So, Mr. Muller and Carrie, can we set another date? And Mr. Kennedy?
How much time does the applicant need to get everything together?
Well, I don't know if there's anything also scheduled after the 10-acre application next month. I can promise to make that one short, and I think we could likely get things submitted before that.
That would be
All due
fine.
respect, and I really do mean this with respect, you cannot guarantee that anything will be short. I mean, we'll do our best. We always, we will. But anyway, it's up to you.
Well, that one would be less of a hardship because many of us will already be there that evening. At least I will, if that doesn't run up. So
yeah, and I'm based on what little I understand about that. I think you're probably right. I just don't want it to be any kind of a guarantee.
I just know I know you can't, and I can't either. But that might be, especially if the alternative is well beyond that.
Yeah, and what is that date, Carrie, for 10
May 16.
May 16. I will not be here that night.
Right.
But
it's worth a try. I mean,
Owen O'Donnell will reside ably.
I'm on deck circle.
Okay, great.
You're gonna earn your pay.
About time.
All right. Good. Is that it? I think so. Thanks, Mr. Kennedy. Thanks to your professionals and the applicants as well. And thank you to members of the public, many of whom are still here. May 16th, Mr. Muller, can you say the right words about continuing this to May 16th?
Yeah, it's been carried to May 16th. There will be no further notice. The only notice of the new date is what you've just heard.
Okay. Thank you for that. Mr. Cohen?
I move to adjourn.
I second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
No one is opposed. Thank you all. And our next meeting is May 16th. Isn't that correct? Because
yes,
the one on May 2nd was
that is correct.
Moved to the 23rd. So enjoy spring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Nay.
Good night.